Hello you gorgeous lot, it's Megagran here again with a brand new series. Now then, I was approached by that super villain, Floozemaker, because in his words he had evil plans. But his evil plans sounded quite interesting, so I thought I'd give it a go and here I am. So, the evil plans are, there's a world, and player 1 goes onto that world for 6 to 8 hours and builds stuff. And then he comes off, leaves all his inventory and his armour, and player 2 comes on. And the whole thing is repeated. There are 4 of us. There's Fnassau, Sunfire SG, Flooz, and me. We're not allowed to share plans, we just have to pick up from where they left off and go with our own style. So Fnassau went first, followed by Sunfire, and then Floozemaker. So I'm last. So they've all been up to stuff, and I'm about to discover what they've been up to. Quite interesting. Hope you follow along. So this is what my 8 hours amounted to. And I can tell you now, it went very quick. So here we are, my first foot, my first second on this world. And things have been happening, because that belongs in the nether. Okay, so first of all, I've got to find the inventory chest. I've been given coords, and let me see, -1485, so I need that to go up. Is that up this way? It's up this way. Let me see. Oh, there it is, look. Woohoo! Now then, this inventory chest is where we start and we end our 8 hours of playtime. Let's have a look. Wow, okay then. So between the 3 of the guys, we've got quite some stuff. Let's have a look. We've got a bow, some arrows, only 6. Sword. Oh, a silk touch pick, that's good. And unbreaking 2 shovel. All right then. And I'll take an axe as well, and a bed, of course. Some food, that's always good. Let me get this armour on. There we go. Let me see, what else can I have? I'll have those, and I'll have a bucket, of course. One torch. Flint and steel, although I don't know if I'll be going to the nether in this session, but we shall see. Coal. Coal is good. Can make some more torches, and I'll take a bit of wood to do that with. There we go. Wow, okay then. I have no idea. I mean, I couldn't plan stuff really, could I? Because I don't know what everybody else has done. So let me just get some more torches and we'll go and have a look what they've been up to. Of course, we haven't revealed plans to each other, and I haven't watched their stuff. They're not supposed to watch mine. I'm not sure how long into it we can start watching each other's stuff. Let's have a look. Oh, a horn. Yeah, okay. People have been gathering. What have we got in here? Oh, a few extra bits in here. Do I need a compass? Shall I have that? I might need it, mightn't I? Golden helmet's nearly done in, is that? I'll have that compass, I think. Okay, some bits and pieces. Right, go on, I'll take that. I'm assuming... Oh, actually, I'll make a new one, because that really is done in, isn't it? So I'll make a new one of those. Now, I'm assuming that there's got to be more stuff somewhere else. I'm hoping so, anyway. Because, you know, they've all been on for 6 to 8 hours, so that's quite a lot of playtime, I should imagine. Oh! Oh! What is this? Look at that, it's got hair as well. Oh my goodness me. People are so creative. Oh my goodness. Let's have a look. We're on top of a hill, obviously. A mountain, should I? Oh, look! It's a frog! Awesome. Lots of stuff down there. How can we get down there? Okay, let's... looks like a pathway, and I'm hoping it's a pathway all the way to the bottom. I'm sure it is. Let's have a look. I haven't got a shield. What am I doing going anywhere without a shield? I'll have to go back and make one. Oh, I didn't look at this. Record. Oh, dear. Okay, then. I think I'll make a new shield. I think that's sensible. Right, I've made a pick as well. So that's all good stuff. Because that's a silk touch pick and it won't give me much in the way of coal. I'd have to have an ordinary pick for that. So let's start again. Down here it was. Nice. It's nicely lit up as well. Oh, but I can hear some nasties. Hopefully they're not in this tunnel. Might be in some caves inside, I don't know. Wow, lots of coal here, that's good. Oh, oh! I think there is a cave in there somewhere. Because this is nice and clear. Nice. Lots of jungle. Lots of jungle. Let's have a look. Oh, a llama. A single llama on its own. Ooh, yeah, somebody's been to the nether. Very nice. Nicely decorated. Like that. Okay, then, where are we going? From here? Is there... oh, this way? This way? Follow the bricks. Follow the bricks. Let's have a look. Whoa. Is that in here? Or... No, I think it must be in another cave somewhere. Maybe I've got my hostile mob sounds a bit high. Let's have a look. I can hear villagers. Oh! Oh, somebody's been busy. It's no mean feat getting these here. Let's have a look what we've got. Oh, silk touch. Oh, that'll be the what's on the pick. Oh, we've got mending. Oh, that's good. Nice. Don't think I've got it on anything, though. Let's have a look. Mending. Only 12 emeralds. That is really good. That is it. That's 15, but we don't need too many of those unless I break this pick, which I'll try not to. And this must be the emerald producing villager. So that's good. Okay. What have I got? Mending on there. That must have been in one of those, you know, those broken down portals, I bet. Right. Okay, we've got a few things here. Projectile mending. Power and breaking. Power 1. Okay. Yeah, I think we need a few more, don't we? We haven't got a fortune pick. What's down here? I'm guessing that's gone down to the mines. If they've gone right down to the bottom, I don't know yet. We need fortune. Could do with looting on the sword. And maybe infinity for the bow. So we really do need some more. So I think I need at least to go out and try and find some more villagers. What we got down here. Lots of resources down here, which is nice. What's in here? Oh, okay then. Yep. Let's have a look. What's in this one? Oh, lots of bits and bats. Okay. Projectile. Okay. What's this one? Let's have a look. Okay, some more bits and bats. And some boats and things. All right. Is it getting night time? It is getting night time already. So I obviously didn't come on at the start of the morning unless time's just going really fast. That's not good. I'll have to keep up with all the farming to make sure I don't get behind. What? That's an axolotl! Awesome. Oh, poor little thing in that one block hole. Well, I've got to condense 8 hours into one video. Well, I don't have to. I could have done lots of videos, but I haven't got time for that. So it's one video you'll get for my 8 hours. So I decided to have finish my look around and then I was going to go off and find a village. But first I needed to see where they were storing stuff. And I had an inkling it was in here. Frogs. My first encounter in-game with frogs. So I did ooh and ah over them for quite some time before I felt I had to move on. I couldn't interact with them. I wouldn't even know where to find them, but my guess is probably something to do with the mangrove biome. But they are adorable, honestly. But I needed to move on and find where the storage was. It was nice to see a full enchant setup, but without any XP, you can't really do anything with that. And I did think that down the stairs would reveal some storage area, but not from that perspective. It's a good job I went down the other stairs as well, because there it was. And I promptly found my way over to see what was in them. And the first one was quite a lot in there, and I was thinking that more chests would be in order. Cobblestone is always useful, so nabbed a bit of that. And the guys, of course, had been all over the place. There was quite a lot of different types of material in here, so I needed to add to that. I'm thinking, what do I need to do next? What's essential to help us progress through the game? And as I wondered and discovered more and more stuff, my mind kept going back to the villagers and thinking we really needed more of them. Lots of farming for trading materials and more villagers. I had no idea how long that would take me to find a village and get some villagers here, but I was determined. So I duly sorted out all the veggies and took some into the villagers so I could do some more trading. These days were going by so fast. And after a bit more exploring, I noticed this fly on the end of the frog's tongue. I thought that was awesome. Really awesome. But I really needed to get on because time was going on. I made a few more chests and I did a bit of fettling. Bit of sorting out. Bit of organising. Not that it wasn't organised before, just not as organised as I would have. So there you go. Mob drops. Get all that lot in there. I only added a few chests. Just a few. Right, off we go. So having no idea, of course, which way the guys had gone, I just hoped we didn't all go in the same direction. So I decided to go east. That was that way. I assumed the guys would have gone down into that shipwreck because there were a few Hearts of the Seas back there. So I just kept plodding on in the hope that I could find a village. And there was another jungle over there. My goodness, there was lots of jungles in this area, but a nice big coral reef here. But I still hadn't seen anything of a village. And another night was drawing in, so I needed to just stop off and have a little snoozeroony. So I thought this probably was as good a place as any. And as I turned, I spotted a couple of buzzy bees. I thought I'd nab them, because you never know when we might need a bit of honey. Oh, no total bee location, but there's at least 2 in there. I spotted a portal ruin, so I headed off for that. And then, what do you know? A village. Awesome. I hoped this wasn't the village the other person had been to, because there might have only been those 3 villagers, or it might have just been that they didn't have that much time. I don't know. Time was going very, very quickly. But I spotted some more villagers over there, so that was it for me. And some hay bales, so I was definitely going to nab them. And going a bit further into the village, I discovered a blacksmith, the likes I'd not seen before, so that was interesting. So I nuzzled my way in, and just around the corner, where a chest usually is, I found some loot. So the guys obviously hadn't been this way before. Nice. But I didn't want to waste any time. And that villager was so obliging. And with a little bit of careful steering, I was very soon on my way back home. Nice. Well, the journey home was a lot shorter than I thought it would be, and no mishaps on the way. So as I drew up beside this awesome frog on his lily pad, with his fly stuck on his tongue, I pondered just a little bit over how I was going to get this villager up with the other ones. And I surmised very quickly that it would have to be with rails. Oh dear. So I made this area safe after laying a load of rails up here, because I didn't want any escapees falling down there. And then it was time to see whether I could get this villager in the place that I wanted him. And things didn't always go very well with me and villagers. So I was a bit apprehensive about this bit. Right, sun halfway, so I should have time if he escapes to try and get him back in. So after finally managing to hit the boat, the villager popped out, and I just hoped he wasn't going to run very far. But he was very obliging and just stood there watching me as I tried to get this cart back on the rail. But it wasn't going, so I had to start again with it and just hoped that he would be patient with me, and he was, and he went in. Awesome. And after replacing the rails and giving him a little nudge or 2, well, perhaps 3, he did actually make it all the way in. And that was awesome too. I did need an area to breed the villagers, so I thought I'd make an extra little room on this side. And with him safely in place, I made him secure. And then I went off to get another one. It wasn't as simple as that. I mean, it did take some time. It took time to lay the rails and time to dig out the little room. And in between, there was farming and trading and ever expanding the storage system. So time was getting on, but at least I didn't have half as much trouble as I thought I would capturing these villagers. They were very obliging, very sedate, and it didn't take too long before I was on my way back home. I had hoped this would be the same as the last time. However, there were some subtle differences. But luckily, one little shove at precisely the right time got him on his way. Before I knew it, I'd got our breeding pair. And I must say, I did get a bit flustered, wondering whether I put these things back in the same way as they were before I actually took them out. So, I hope so. I'll know when I look at my recording. Oh dear. So that all took me a good 2.5 hours to get all that sorted. 2.5 hours off my 8. Oh my goodness, time was flying. So, next I needed some bread and some beds. So I got on with that. So, they looked like they could be persuaded to get into the mood. So, I divided up the bread and I chucked some at them. And I just hoped they'd get into the mood fairly quickly and produced fairly quickly as well. And almost immediately, they looked like they were going to do something. So I watched with keen interest, and then the hearts came. That was very encouraging. But we need to see a little bit more than that. And sure enough, we got more. And then more. And I was getting quite excited, because there was loads. And then we got our first future librarian. Awesome. So it was time to go and create somewhere to put them. So I'd made some holes in the walls. I'd taken some hay that was already there, that somebody had kindly collected, and I also made some lecterns. And I'd made a little chest in the little breeding room and decided to put things back in there. And there were 2 running about by the time I got back. Awesome. And I'd no sooner made some more bread when there were 3. Oh my goodness. They really were in the mood. So I laid down a few more beds, not wanting to miss any opportunities, and got on with sorting out their little cells, cubicles, living quarters, you know what I mean. And then I got distracted by a familiar noise, only it wasn't in there. So out I went to investigate. Where on earth could that be? I'd had experience before with golems turning up in all sorts of odd places. Oh, but there that unfortunate golem was, in the bamboo, stuck. I had a fleeting thought that I might have accidentally stumbled upon a new design for an iron farm. It'd have to be worked on though. It was hard work getting those 4 pieces of iron. And no sooner had that one gone, but another one had spawned. But this time in the right place. Well done, Golem. And it was obviously here to guard the thriving community that was on the inside. I can truly say it was the easiest time I've ever had breeding villagers. And then I got distracted again. I was just doing a resource gathering round when I saw it. A cat. And I thought, well, I've got to have that. We've got frogs, why can't we have a cat? But with no fish, because we hadn't been fishing. So I had to go and find some fish and hoped it hadn't gone by the time I got back. Fish, where were they when you needed them? Yep, there were some round here. Those were a bit exotic though. I don't think I needed to waste those on a cat. But there were some cod nearby and set about getting some. I took my chances with 5, hoping it wouldn't take more than that. And it didn't. and I shuffled it into a nice little spot that I felt was just made for it. There we go. Could have done with another one on the other side. But I didn't have time, really. I just didn't have time. And then I heard the dulcet tones of a wandering trader. I was interested to see what he had to offer. Now then, I hadn't seen any cactus, so I took the opportunity, with all the emeralds I'd been making, spent 3 on a cactus. And no sooner had he come, but he was gone. And I'd got 2 leads in my inventory. Very suspicious. But we now had cactus, in case anybody needed some green dye. You never know. And now it was time to produce the librarians. I hoped this was going to go okay. And after turfing him out of his bed, and hoping he wouldn't step over those rails, because I know they don't like stepping on rails, it proved just a little bit too far away. So, with a minor adjustment, I managed to get him safely in. Nice. Unfortunately, my little design for a living cubicle didn't go quite so well, but I managed to save him before his demise. Whew, that was a close one, and I was eager to see what we'd got. But I was soon disappointed, as I knew that it wouldn't be on the first turn. But never mind. And I think the problem had been with the fence I'd put at the bottom. It allowed the minecart to go in a bit too far and started suffocating him. So I made some minor adjustments to their little living quarters, and I didn't have any more problems after that. So a little refurbishment in his little area, and the addition of a trapdoor meant that once he was in there, he was not getting out. And the real rolling could then begin. No. 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 No.
1 eternity later.
And then we got something to get excited about. We'd have to have that. So that solved the arrow problem. And then, of course, it was a case of rinse and repeat until something else exciting came along. Oh yes, we'd definitely have to have that. It was pricey, but we only needed 1. So that was fine. And then I'd hit the jackpot. So I had to have that. But, unfortunately, there was only 13 emeralds. So like a mad woman, I began trading, and trading and trading. And when I'd run out of things to trade, I farmed, and farmed. And I was nearly there. And I just went to check, was it 32 or 34? And the pesky blighter had changed his trade. What a stinker. So I went back to trading to make sure I had enough emeralds the next time it came up, and I hoped it wouldn't be very long. And I noticed while I was doing the paper trades, this one had a second book. Sharpness 5 for 25. Well, that should be something, I get, but I really must focus on Fortune 3 for now. I needed another axe.
A few moments later.
And the best I could do was a Fortune 2. But 2 and 2 make 3 in Minecraft maths. So my best was good enough. So back I went to the inventory chest, and out came 3 diamonds. So I think that time was well spent, because in the end we got a looting 3 sword, a Fortune 3 book, which very quickly became a Fortune 3 pick. And I just needed enough levels to get that infinity on that bow. So that had taken up about 4.5 hours of my time. That was more than halfway. And I had a couple of little jobbies that I wanted to do before I made use of that fortune pick, because wouldn't it be grand if we had diamond armour? I did want to get the bees a little home, and I thought of a little glass house, but where to put it? And I eventually settled on this little corner over here. So I came over to investigate. There was a little dark, scary cave underneath, so I quickly lit it up, and then I quickly left. And I made sure I blocked it up on my way out. So I collected some stuff, got some wood, put some sand in the furnaces, because I'd need a fair bit of glass, and then I got to building a little bee house. I figured out the shape that I wanted. It was going to be sort of like a quarter circle, really. And I needed to do a little bit of digging just to make a little bit more space into the mountain. And I'd need more dirt in here if I was going to plant flowers all over the place. Well, it was plain to see that I probably didn't have enough room here and I needed to do a little bit more digging. That was enough for now. It was time to get some glass in and see what it looked like when I'd done a bit of that. And time was marching on. It goes so fast when you're actually watching it. And then the last bit of glass went in. I was nearly done with the build now. I chipped away just a little bit more stone so that the last couple of pieces of glass could fit in nicely. Then I built the stand for the beehive, got the campfire in the ground so it didn't harm the bees, and I just wanted to put a little leafage around everywhere. I like a bit of greenery on my builds. I think that was looking okay. I made a little side entrance so I could get in and out to get the honey and the honeycombs. Hopefully the guys will find it if they need some. And it was time to stand back and have a look. I think that doesn't look too bad. Maybe a bit more greenery around the edges, but I quite like that. Now I know there's 2 bees in there. I planned to breed them when they popped out, and they did. And so I smacked them with a dandelion. And there was another bee, although it was a bit elusive. I couldn't actually see it at first. Had it happened? Was it there? Where was it? But there it was. You can see its little bottom sticking out under the azalea tree. So I was quite satisfied with that. Wow, that was a speedy little bee. Now, the last little jobby I wanted to do before I went off caving was build a little dock here and do a little bit of fishing in the hope of getting a saddle. It was just going to be a little dock, nothing exciting. And I was only going to give it 10 minutes of fishing because I haven't got time for anything else. But at least I will have built it and somebody else might do a bit of fishing. And I thought I'd use a bit of this mangrove wood. It was really nice. And I'd not used it before. So, good opportunity. And there it was. All nice and safe. So you could just have a nice little fishing session. It wasn't a total waste of 10 minutes. At least I got some extra XP. And I had thoughts of putting that infinity on that bow before I went caving. And I also needed a mending on that pick. So that went on. And that was 5. And I hoped I could put infinity on the bow as well. And just as it happens, I could. Awesome. So the rest of my fishing catches went in the chest and I went off to do some caving. Right, so at this stage I didn't need these anymore and I wasn't quite sure how far this went down, whether it went right to the bottom or to a particular level somebody wanted to get to. There was a definite level there that somebody had got to, I think to mine the coal, so I went off and mined some more. And there were a couple of areas where they'd found waterlogged caves. Wasn't interested in that really, so carried on down. And then when I got to the bottom and checked where we were, there was still quite a way to go. We were already on -15. I needed to get to -59. But I was determined to get to those diamonds with my fortune pick. So back up I went for some ladders. So down I went. There was a bit of a soggy start, but I didn't let that deter me. Down I went into the soggy depths and built a wall. I just hoped nothing nasty would come and get me. But it didn't. I was fine. I do worry unnecessarily. Don't know why, that's just me. And once I got rid of all the water, I started working my way down. And there it was, bedrock. Awesome. So I cleared out a little space and then started to do a little bit of strip mining. And I hoped I was going to be lucky. Well, I'd been going a while and I'd not found anything except a bit of redstone. But I was now hearing skelly noises, and that meant a cave. So I felt I had to investigate. And I soon came across a space full of creepers and skellies. So I thought I'd see them off with my infinity bow. Not too bad, if I do say so myself. And then I went out into the caves to do a bit of exploring. Only it wasn't 2 minutes before I was back inside because there were so many mobs. One of them on 2 little legs that were going like the clappers. Oh my goodness. So I backtracked a bit so I could get him. That was better. Oh my goodness. But I think it was a good job I got myself down in there because there was a host of zombies who had obviously spotted me earlier and was coming to see if they could get a piece of me. But it didn't take me too long to dispose of them in the safety of my little cave. Any more for any more? I couldn't hear anything, so out I went and I hoped to find some good stuff. And it wasn't long before there was another host of zombies after me, and I began to wonder whether there was a nearby spawner, so I needed to be careful. It wasn't long before I spotted an Enderman, and once I got rid of a couple of drowns that were chomping at the bit to get to me, I thought I'd have a try to get some pearls. I dug out my hole, and then I poked him in the eye, and down he came. And it turned out he wasn't the only one. So when the Enderman stopped appearing, I collected as much iron as I could, and then I headed back for the strip mine. And it wasn't too long before I hadn't found diamonds, but I had found another cave. So I went out to have a look in there. And I spotted another Enderman, so I was having him as well. And then I went to explore. And there were quite a few mobs in this cave as well, so I needed to be careful. And then at the end of the cave there was a hole with a larger cave which seemed to be spawning absolutely everything. I wouldn't be able to explore it because I was down to my last few torches and I couldn't make any more. But definitely was one to come back to. I had a feeling there might be some diamonds in there. And at one point, I had to retreat. I just couldn't get in there to have a little look. But they were coming from everywhere. I kept trying though, I kept trying to see what was in there. I thought at one point I could see the edge of a spawner, but I think it might have turned out to be a spider. And that skelly had an enchanted bow. I'd like that if I could. But no, I didn't get one. But I thought I might be able to get his. I could also hear a slime, so that would have been good to get some slime balls. But it was just a no-go. I couldn't get in there. But I had the bow and it was a power 3, which was an improvement on the one I'd got. So I was happy with that, and I headed back. Well, I got quite a bit of stuff, but none of the elusive diamonds, unfortunately. So I took my loot and went back up for my last 45 minutes of playtime. I didn't waste any time in putting that power 3 bow and my bow together. It was a good job I came back with a load of iron. I went to have a look at the bees and got my first bit of honey. I went off to make a beehive. And then I bred them again. And I hoped that they'd come in useful and it wasn't a waste of my time. I just got half an hour left of my 8 hours. And it had been quite eventful and I really enjoyed it. So I did my last bit of farming, my last bit of trading, did my last bit of smelting, and I'd extended the storage area quite a bit. And I made sure there was mending on the shovel and on the sword. I cooked as much as I could, and I made sure I collected everything together that I thought was important for the others to see. And then I got myself to the top of the mountain, to the inventory chest. My shift was over, and I was right chuffed I'd got stuff done. Next time though, I hope to do some building. I cannot wait for my next shift on here. I can't imagine what the others might get up to. Oh, and I mustn't forget my armour. Sorry it wasn't diamond armour, but never mind. Someone else might. Well, that's it for me. I hope you enjoyed it. I don't know when the next one will be because it depends when everybody's finished their bit. So all I can say is, I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.